Good morning, all. In stretching, till today we have learnt about upper extremity stretching involving muscles of shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, and hand. From today, we will be starting with lower extreme muscle stretching. First of all, we will go for the hip joint. As we know, many muscles of hip attach to the pelvis or to the lumbar spine. So, pelvis has to be stabilized so that we can avoid unwanted compensatory motion. First, to increase flexion of hip, we need to stretch extensors. We will go for one joint hip extensor muscle, which is gluteus maximus first. It does not have any action over the knee joint, so that we can keep knee joint flexed. For that, the patient will be in supine position, and therapist's hand placement and procedure will be as following. We have to flex hip and knee joint of the treated knee simultaneously while we are stabilizing the opposite femur in extension so that the posterior pelvic tilt is avoided. Full flexion of hip and knee to the available range is achieved to lengthen the hip extensor muscle. Now, two joint hamstring muscle, which causes extension of hip along with flexion of knee. In supine position, patient's knee is fully extended and is supported by patient's lower leg by our arm or shoulder. We have to stabilize opposite extremity along the anterior aspect of the thigh with our hands or with the help of a stabilization belt or an assistant. Knee is kept at 0 degrees of extension and hip is in neutral rotation. We have to flex the hip as much as possible. For isolation of stretch force to medial component of hamstring muscles, we have to do opposite motion, that is external rotation or lateral rotation. If we want to isolate the stretch force to lateral hamstring, we will do the same in internal rotation. So, hip flexion with knee extension in neutral for all the hamstrings, with external rotation for medial hamstrings, and with internal rotation for lateral hamstrings. This is the image where it is seen that the therapist is stabilizing the opposite extremity in extension so to avoid posterior pelvic tilt. He is supporting the lower leg in extension and flexing the hip to the available range. Alternate to this, if we are having low mat, the therapist can kneel on the mat besides the patient and place the patient's heel or distal tibia against his shoulder. Hand along the anterior aspect of distal thigh helps to keep the knee in extension. Opposite extremity is stabilized in extension by a belt or towel around distal thigh, and it is held in place by light pressure from therapist knee. These are the images showing self-stretching techniques. First one is for hamstring in supine position. The person lies next to the edge of the door frame. Hip is flexed with knee extended. Additional stretch, if required, can be added either by person moving closer to the door frame while maintaining the position of the leg, or the person can lift the leg away from the door frame so that there is further flexion of the hip joint. In second image, the person is long sitting at the edge of the plinth or bed, and stretch force is applied by leaning the trunk forward towards the extended knee, which causes flexion of the hip joint. Opposite extremity is kept hanging to maintain the tilt of the pelvis. This one is self-stretching for gluteus maximus in quadruped or crawling position. Here the patient is in all four and rocks into slight anterior pelvic tilt, which causes lumbar extension. While maintaining this lumbar extension, the patient tries to shift the buttocks back, such as he is moving to sit on the heels. Now, while doing this, if there is a point where the lordosis cannot be maintained, the spine comes to a flattened position. So this is the point where hip flexion is maximum and gluteus maximus is stretched to its limits.